All right, it looks like we're ready then.
It's still loading on the web page, but it does say we're live, so I think we're okay.
Okay.
And then
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for spending your evening again with us tonight. We're in a little bit of an odd situation. I'm sorry we can't be together, but we'll see how this goes tonight and see if it really does work. But we really appreciate you all being here today. I think we'll just go down. I'll just call your name, and if you'll just introduce yourself, how you're related to this situation, then we can go from there. So I'm Kenna Matthews. I am the Community Services Manager at the City of Orem, and I run the CDBG program there. So Jessica?
Hey, I'm Jessica DeLaura. I'm the Director of Community and Economic Development at MAG, and we administer the Utah County CDBG program.
Mayor Fulmer's saying she can't hear anything. Okay. Oh, she's back. Okay. All right. Dan?
Hi, this is Dan Gonzalez. With Provo City. I am the administrator for CDBG and home funds for the city.
James?
Yeah, I'm James Stewart. I'm a neighborhood chair in the Franklin neighborhood in Provo City.
Great. Joey?
Hi, everybody. I'm Joey Elisa, and I'm from the Orem CDBG Commission.
Jess?
Hi, I'm Jess Bedingfield. I'm with MAG. I'm in charge of the CDBG program for Utah County.
Thank you. Soraya?
I'm Soraya Hillam. I'm the vice chair for Mazer Neighborhood, downtown Provo.
Great. Mayor Fulmer? Can you hear us, Mayor Fulmer?
Hey, I just heard you just now, but I am Julie Fulmer, and I am the current chair for the Utah Valley CDBG program.
Thank you. Ken?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if I was muted. I'm Ken Ransom. I'm on the Orem CDBG Commission, and looking forward to it.
Thank you. Summer?
I'm Summer Valencia. I'm the director of the Center for Social Impact at UVU and is serving on the committee.
Thank you. Andrew?
Andrew Jackson with MAG.
And Sarah?
I'm Sarah. I'm the Carterville Neighborhood Chair here in Provo.
Thank you for joining us. And we will have Mayor Frost also be joining us here shortly. So he rounds us out. Just to remind everyone, we are being recorded, just to be sure to do that. And if you have not signed your conflict of interest or confidentiality agreements, we need you to get those signed and get those sent back over ASAP. Now we're going to do chair elections. So we would need, we'd like to have a chair and a vice chair. And the chair will run the rest of help us run the rest of the program for today and next week, or I guess it's a week, 10 days from now. Would anyone like to make a motion, or would anyone like to serve as chair of this committee today? Any takers? I see smiles, but no takers.
I motion to nominate Summer to run it. I know she's really good at what she does.
Summer, are you okay with that?
This is my very first time participating in this, so I don't know if I'm exactly qualified.
Okay. Anyone else want to try that?
Maybe Ken, because Ken runs our meetings with you.
Ken, would you be willing to chair?
Sure. But I want the record to show I did not volunteer. So.
He's probably chaired out. All right. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. This is Julie Fulmer.
All right, thank you, Mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed besides Ken? All right. And then let's just get a vice chair in case there's a situation where Ken can't be at the next meeting or something. Is there a nomination for vice chair? Would Summer like to do that? Okay. So does someone want to make that motion? Joey, do you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll motion for Summer to be vice chair.
Can we have a second?
I'll second.
All right. Who was that?
Soraya?
Okay. Thanks, Shreya. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, well, thank you, Ken and Soraya, or Ken and Summer, for being willing to do that. Now, before we get into the presentations, we just wanted to kind of go over the process with you tonight. As you know, this is the Joint Commission. We have 3 members of the Provo Commission, 3 members of the Utah County Commission, and 2 members of the Orem Commission, just based on the amount of money that is being brought to the table. Each of us, Utah County, Provo, and Orem, are all putting 10% of our public service allocation into this process. And then we're also looking at doing a joint capital project as well. Hi, Mayor Frost. Thanks for joining us. And so what we have done is we have taken applications from what we call regional public service organizations. These are public service organizations that are serving at least 2 or 3 of the different entitlements. So anything that was an Orem only, Provo only, or Utah County project will go to those specific commissions for presentations. So tonight, what we will do is we'll have presentations. We would like you to score those presentations. So you received a score sheet, and Jessica can show you that.
Yep, 1 second. Let me pull that up.
So you would have also received the applications, right, Jessica? Everyone received the applications? Okay.
Yes.
Right,
okay, I'm ready to share.
Okay.
Oh, are you ready for me to show that, Kenna?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So here is the score sheet that everyone should have access to as editor. This is the final sheet that we'll be working off of at the end of our next meeting. And then you each, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, so everyone has a tab here at the bottom. And so you should be able to click on any of these and edit that score, and then it will pull your score over to this final one, and then we'll make deliberations. So if you have any issues with that, let me know. But that's the score sheet. And you'll see on your sheet that it will give you the rubric for scoring. So you're giving a score from 0 to 20. You can give any number you want. It doesn't have to be 20, 15, 10, or 5. This is just to sort of help you figure out which score you want to give a project. And then do you want me to show the application packet right now?
That's great.
Okay. Let me pull that up. Okay, so this is your application packet that have all the materials that you need. Here's the schedule. We did have a changeability first dropped out, so we'll just go to break early. But one helpful tool over here is the bookmarks tab to help you navigate from application to application. So they are in order of the interview schedule tonight, but if you want to bounce back and forth to review an application, you can use this on the side to help you do that. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. So you'll see on the score sheet that we as staff did score, gave them a score based on some criteria that I believe is in your packet as well. And so those were the scores based on the applications. So tonight you can score while you're listening to presentations. You can wait until the end of the evening. You can wait until the end of the next Monday evening when we meet again. Whatever you would like to do, you can think about it during the week and score them, whatever you would like to do that. So just to keep that in mind. The only other thing, I just thought of something I needed to tell you, and now it just left my mind. What else did I forget, guys? Anything? Okay, so we will, the presentations are going to be 12 minutes. So we're going to try to hold that 12-minute. If you have questions, you can either put it in the chat box. We'll try to watch the chat box, or you can raise your hand. And I think, did we decide where that was at? That under reactions?
I think when you go to if you click on participants along the bottom, there should be a raise hand button there.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Did everyone see that? So you can either raise your hand or put it in the chat box, and we'll try to watch that as well.
If you can't see that, it might be the version of Zoom you have if you don't have the most recent one. If you can find the reactions button, maybe down at the bottom of your toolbar. If you do any, the thumbs up or clapping, we'll get that too.
Joey did thumbs up, so she knows how to do that. So just to get our attention, and then we'll have you answer the question. So I think our first person up is Shauna Brown from Project Read. Is that correct?
Can I just pipe in just for a second?
Yeah.
The menu for the raise hand may not display until you click on the participant icon at the bottom, and it brings up a different box to the right. And then at the bottom of that display, you should be able to see the raise hand. There's a yes or no button, something like that. But then again, that also may depend on the version of Zoom that you have. That's it.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Most of you have done this before, not in this weird way, but most of you have done this before. So some are you'll have to see after one or two, you'll understand probably a little bit better. So, all right, we will turn the time over to our first presenter then.
Okay, perfect. Let me let her in. Hi, Shauna, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Shauna?
I can hear you. Sorry, it cut off right as you said that, but I can hear you now.
Excellent. Shauna's with Project Read, and she's going to be presenting to us. Remember, there's 12 minutes, so I will be piping in once we've hit that limit, okay?
Okay. Okay, can you see my screen? Perfect. Well, first, just thank you for, let me get my timer up here so I see what I'm doing. Thank you so much for having me today and for your time. I always appreciate the time that this committee spends reviewing applications. I know some of you and some of you I don't, so I thought I'd start with just a brief overview of Project Read. I'm Shauna Brown, and Project Read is an adult literacy program. So we provide one-on-one tutoring for functionally illiterate adults in Utah County, and we change lives through literacy by empowering individuals, strengthening families, and building communities. We have kind of a two-pronged approach. We offer what is kind of the hallmark of Project Read is one-on-one tutoring, which I really love for adults because we can focus exactly on the skills that the adults need to be working on in their lives. If they're working on finding jobs or improving job situations, that's exactly what we're working on. If they're a mother and they're working on helping their children with school, or heaven forbid right now, online school or other things, that's exactly what we're helping them with. So it can be really catered to the individual student. We also offer literacy labs, which we added a few years ago and adds a small group component to the one-on-one tutoring that they get. And it's been a really great addition because they have the opportunity to collaborate with other learners, see that they're not in the same boat, and really have the opportunity to share and bounce ideas off of one another to improve their literacy skills. Along with the tutoring and the literacy labs, we have regular assessments and individual education plans. So just that goal setting piece so that we know where they're going and what we can do to best help them get to that point. Our students in our program have to be at least 16 years old. They have to speak English proficiently. So if they're from another country, and don't speak well enough, we will refer them to an ESL program in the county and then ask them to come back when they're ready to work on higher level literacy, reading and writing skills. But our students have to be, their literacy skills need to be below a 9th grade level. We do that, we see ourselves kind of as a bridge program. So we help people get from where they are to where they want to be, whether that's working on a GED, getting a high school diploma, whether they want to get into some sort of post-secondary, maybe at UVU or something else locally. Some of the certification programs, community college type programs through UVU are exceptional for our students. And then also some of them go into job training programs. So we really find ourselves being a transition from where they are to what is the next step in their life and how can we help them get there. Last year, as many know, was a rough year, but we still had lots of students served, about 2,000 instructional hours, and lots of goals met. And 100% of our students last year who were retested actually increased their skills in reading or language. So we were really happy about that, especially during COVID, as we transitioned to a virtual environment that was so difficult for our students who were barely reading and writing on paper, and then to try to teach them how to use a computer on top of that. Many didn't know what a mouse was or how to double click. So I mean, those are digital literacy skills that we had been working on, but trying to go exclusively virtual, teaching them how to do lessons on Zoom was a real, an interesting adventure last year that we got to go through. But some great things that came out of it, and part of it was funded by this grant last year, was our online tutor training. So we have now moved our tutor training and orientation completely online, which has been a huge benefit and allows us to more quickly onboard new volunteers and get them up to speed and ready to start working with a student. Also, we added a book club last year, and it was so fun to have the students. In fact, I just, before I got on this call, was in a meeting with a bunch of my tutors. We do a monthly tutor collaboration meeting. And we were talking about some of the books that they've been reading that were funded through the book club that we used CDBG grants for last year. They just read Hidden Figures and then were able to watch the movie. And then our second book club is just starting that book right now. And then they also read the Helen Keller book and some other things. So that has been a really great opportunity for our students to collaborate together, all read the same book, do some writing. Our writing contest this year is actually going to be focused on the books that they were able to read together in the book club. A lot of them will be able to write about maybe some of their own experiences that were similar to experiences of characters in the books or things like that. So that has been a fun addition. And then the last thing, I have my own copy right here, is that we were able to print, using CDBG funds, a student anthology of all of the writings of our students from last year in our program. Some of them were illustrated, or they picked pictures that they wanted to get printed with them. I wish I had the foresight to have a video running the day we handed this out to our students, because I would love to show you their faces when they got to see their name in print for the very first time. They read their entries out loud to each other, and they were in there just signing each other's copies. They all felt like movie stars. So that was so fabulous. So this year, as I mentioned, the transition to digital has been a struggle for many of our students. We got some funding to purchase some Chromebooks, and then we're working on digital literacy skills. We're having to start, like I said, with some of our students at the very basics. This is a mouse. This is how you double click. This is how you set up a Google account. This is how you get into Zoom, troubleshooting in Zoom, all of those things. So we're hoping to work on, we're working with a UVU student right now to produce some really basic digital literacy videos, but also working and training our tutors on how to best teach these technology skills that some of them have used all of their lives and don't even think about as difficult or complicated. And on the flip side, I have some older tutors who are in their 70s who aren't as proficient on technology. And so helping them so that they can in turn help their students is going to be a big focus of our program this year, as it has been in this last year as well. Another big thing that we are working on is employment literacy. 14.5% of Americans with low literacy skills are unemployed. 8 out of 10 frontline workers are parents, and 1 in 4 of US adults lack the basic literacy skills required for a typical job. Our students were hard hit last year when the pandemic hit. Their jobs were the first ones on the chopping block, and they were the last ones to come back. And so we really want to focus on those employment literacy skills and making sure that they have the skills they need to be competitive in the environment that we're in right now. And whether that's bridging them into some sort of post-secondary or certification or job training program, we want them to have the skills that they need to be successful in those programs.
5 minutes
Our
left.
third piece, sorry, what?
5 minutes left.
5 minutes, okay. So our third piece is just a continuation of the book club and the anthology. And we're also putting together a reading incentive program where as they read certain number of books that they are then able to get rewards for that, just to incentivize additional reading. And that's what I have. So 5 minutes, a little bit less for questions from you. 4.
She's a stickler. I guess I would have a question. As far as the LMI is concerned, I'm reading in here, does COVID and just the effect of lost jobs, did that change how you scored in your LMI? Or was that, is that just kind of a, I'm not saying an assumption, or is it just that the people—
Illiterate adults actually are a presumed benefit category for LMI.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yep. Okay. But we do track it, but they all, like 95% of my students before COVID hit were all LMI. So it's just a presumed benefit category.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a quick one. I was trying to unmute myself. This is Ken Ransom. I was wondering if you have any success stories or improvements or efficiencies you can share with us that you've learned. Have you had to do things differently because of COVID, and have you found some efficiencies and improvements in the way you do things? Is there any silver linings in this last year for your organization?
Absolutely, absolutely. So one I mentioned was actually helped funded, maybe we had some foresight, but we wrote this into our grant last year to get to that online tutoring and orientation process. So that has helped us actually much more quickly onboard and get tutors ready and trained to be working with adults. We also have started doing hybrid labs. So some people who are able and comfortable can come and do an in-person lab, but we also have some who are joining via Zoom and other things. And so we use a volunteer for every computer that has a Zoom student on it. And we hand them a computer and we say, this is your student, and you get to help make sure that they can fully participate in lab today. And that has actually been a good experience and interesting, and also helped some of those students who are attending in person learn some of those virtual literacy skills as they can help the person who is attending virtually online. Some of our clients are still working exclusively virtually. Some are on Zoom, some are on a telephone. If they're not yet proficient enough with the computer, they're just on a phone, either on a FaceTime on a phone, or some of them just calling, and they have the same copies of books and they're writing things together. We deliver packets through our office and different things. So I think there are definitely some good things that have come out of COVID, some things that we're going to continue doing, and some things that we're going to continue tweaking, because I don't think this virtual environment is going away, and our students have to be successful in it, not only for themselves, but also to help their children and family members be successful.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Shauna.
Thank you for having me, you guys.
Have a good day. Good evening.
You too. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Sorry, I'm trying to, there we go. Okay, so next up we have, if you guys are ready for me to move on.
Is everyone ready?
Okay,
yes.
Perfect.
So Ken, what we'll do is, why don't we have you just, when they come in, just welcome them and tell them they have 12 minutes. Does that work?
Okay, this is Cheryl.
Hello.
So Cheryl is from Raw Services. Ken, you're still on mute.
My apologies. Hello, this is Ken Ransom. I'm the chair of our commission today, and I want to welcome you to it and let you know you have 12 minutes for your presentation. So please proceed when you're ready.
All right. Thanks for all joining together. This is kind of a new experience for all of us via Zoom this year. And I'm looking and seeing some familiar faces or some familiar pictures. And this is not my first year presenting for Orem, Provo, and Mountain Lands CDBG. Gratefully, we have been able to be funded through CDBG funds for many years. And those funds have benefited many people who have intellectual disabilities throughout Utah County. It has been an interesting year. I'm sure you've heard this over and over again and have experienced it yourself. But I want to let you know that if it had not been for CDBG funds, our organization may not have survived the pandemic. It's just been a real challenge for us. Some of the things that we have prided ourselves on in the past are that we're a very frugal organization, and we're very lucky in that the population that we serve has been able to contribute to their own services through the payment of program fees, through contributing in fundraisers, and through helping out. But this year, the past year, that changed everything. Normally our budget consists of about 30% of our income came from program fees and contributions from our own participants. And that dropped immediately to zero when we were faced with the decision of shutting down in-person programs due to the pandemic. So we faced some financial challenges, but gratefully we were able to use our CDBG funds and continue providing services to people with disabilities via online services, which has turned out to be a tremendous success. The pandemic has not been fun for any of us. It's been difficult and there's been a lot of tragedy associated with it. But in our case, we have seen a lot of amazing things happen as we've had to I guess I'll speak for myself. I've had to look at things differently. I'm not very technologically gifted or experienced, but I'd never made a Skype call even in my life prior to the pandemic. And now I'm doing all kinds of things on Zoom and providing all kinds of services. And we have found that we are able to actually serve some of our people better through this application. And we've been able to keep in touch and help some of our individuals through Zoom. So that's just a little bit that this past year. We will continue to do that as long as we need to. The vaccines are moving much more quickly than I had ever dreamed. And so we are anticipating having our programs back in play this summer. We've got our fingers crossed, but in the meantime, we are still serving and helping individuals with intellectual disabilities, making their lives better by providing social support, by providing opportunities for them to learn and grow and develop new skills, and by providing support for the families and caregivers who help these individuals and are full-time caregivers and supporters, and they need help themselves. And there are not very many resources for most of them to do that. The individuals that we serve all have a primary diagnosis of an intellectual disability. You might hear more common terms such as Down syndrome, autism, all kinds of disabilities. We serve a wide variety of people and a wide variety of needs. Just jump in if you have a question. And the one thing they have in common is that their primary diagnosis is some type of intellectual disability. So most of these individuals do not have other support system in place other than maybe a family member or whoever they're living with. And many of them are on the waiting list for services with the state of Utah, which would provide them with the opportunity to have residential support or day services support or job training. In the state of Utah, there are now over 3,000 people with disabilities waiting for help. They did get about 125 people off the waiting list last year, which was wonderful, but not sufficient enough, obviously. And so many of the people that we serve, RAW is their only means of support and assistance. And it's just vital for them. And we need to be here. We offer supports that are not available in the community in any other way for these individuals. We have senior centers for individuals who are 65 and older. Sometimes I guess that's a little bit not so defined. But for people who have disabilities, there's no center for them. There's no place for them to go and take classes and to interact and socialize and to stay active and stay stimulated and stay involved. So we try and offer those opportunities for people while giving their family members a break and support as well. The services that we would like to continue to provide, we call our program ABLE, which stands for A Balanced and Healthy Life for Everyone. And we kept everyone in there, we placed everyone in there specifically because we don't just serve the individual, we serve the family as well. And we want to keep the families healthy. If any of you have had experience being a caregiver or watching caregivers, you are keenly aware that caregivers often have as many or more complications in health, whether that be medical or mental health situations, as does the individual who is needing the care. So we want to keep these families healthy and able to stay in the position of caring for their loved one as long as they can. And our services have been successful in doing that and supporting these families. And we hope that funding will continue to be available in our communities and in Utah County so that we can help these individuals in the future. Can I answer any questions? Yes, Jess.
Sorry, I'm the timekeeper. I'm just saying you have 5 minutes left.
Oh, that was fine. Okay. Any questions that I can answer? I could have lots more things I could say if you don't have any questions, but I'd be happy to answer questions if you have any.
I have a question. I'm wondering, you said that you moved a lot of things online and you had to learn how to do that. How are you providing services for your people online this year?
Okay, so we are doing several things. First of all, well, we did two things. We started immediately by doing what we called everybody on the phone and said, how are you? What's going on in your life? How can we help? We knew that we wouldn't be serving food for a while, so we opened up all of our food resources and offered it to families because there was, in the beginning, you know, food was hard to come by, paper towels, toilet paper. So we got supplies to our families that were in need of it. We continued that with what we call check and chat. So we continue to call people, check in on how they're doing, ask how we can support, visit with them, just provide stimulation. The bigger meat of our program is the online portal. We are offering programs throughout the week. Some of them are just social interactions. Some of them have an educational component.
Your sound cut out for me. Is that the case for everyone else?
Cheryl, your sound is cutting out.
Okay. We have computer issues. We're trying to get some new computer equipment. Can you hear me now? No.
Barely.
Let me try switching my audio. Let's see, is that any better? How about that?
A titch better.
What if I yell?
We can hear you, but barely.
Yeah, we really need to get these computers. Okay. Let's try this one.
That's it.
You're on mute, Cheryl.
Okay, let's try this again. Anyway, the online programs. Some of them, we have question of the day where we introduce a question and then everybody gets to answer. And it stimulates discussion. We get to talk. We get to, sometimes we have a little educational part. Yesterday, it was Dr. Seuss's birthday and Read Across America Day. So the question of the day is, what is your favorite book? But we started that out with, why is it called Read Across America Day? And we did a little blurb on Dr. Seuss. So we did a little educational component. We have classes. We have a movement and exercise class. We found that most of the folks were just sitting at home doing nothing. So we do movement and exercise. We have partnered with the Sarah Center for the Arts and started this year adaptive online classes that are art-based. We've done ukulele and singing, dance, movement, art, crafts, a wide variety. And so as part of that partnership, they find the instructors, we manage the Zoom and the background, and our folks get to take these classes that are same caliber that anybody else might sign up for. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're starting food, doing some simple food preparation in our next session, where they can make quick food preparation that doesn't require the stove, or it's mostly microwave, just things in the microwave or things that are just refrigerated and you mix up, that we can do together as a group on Zoom. So those are some of the things that we're doing. But I think I cut out when I was talking about the check and chats. So we are still calling people on a regular basis, checking in with them. How are they doing? How can we help? Is there any support that you need? And we also have delivered supplies or provided supplies here that families and individuals can come pick up as we've acquired them or as we're aware of needs. Did that catch the question, answer all the questions?
Any other questions for Cheryl?
Thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Cheryl. Have a great evening.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right. Are you guys ready for our next one?
Everyone ready?
Okay. All right, so we have Amanda from Mountainland Community Health Center joining us right now.
Hello, Amanda. This is Ken Ransom with the Commission. I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining us. And please begin when you're ready.
Okay, thank you. Let me just share my screen here, 1 second.
Oh, and you have 12 minutes if I didn't mention that.
Okay. Okay, are you able to see that okay?
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect. Okay, so as was mentioned, we're Mountain Lands Community Health Center. We are a comprehensive federally qualified health center. And our mission statement, as you can see on the slide here, is health professionals assuring the provision of high quality primary health care for everyone in our community. We're proud to offer healthcare services to the most vulnerable members of our community, including the uninsured and the low income. Oh goodness, here we go. Here's a history of our service, just a little background about Mountain Lands. We were established in 1992, originally with support from Mountain Lands, or I'm sorry, from Intermountain Healthcare and United Way. Since then, our patient population has increased almost tenfold. We started with 2,707 patients, and in 2020, we had over 20,000 patients. We've really seen a lot of growth. We also provided over 47,000 visits in 2020, and we discounted approximately $37 million this past year. We offer our services on a sliding fee scale based on family size and income. This discount makes services available to those who might not be able to afford it, but it also encourages our patients to have some skin in the game to contribute and take ownership of their health. These are just a few of our locations. These are our Provo locations. Our main location is in Provo on State Street by the cemetery. This has all of the services that we offer: medical, dental, mental health, and pharmacy. We also have a clinic co-located with Wasatch Mental Health on Freedom Boulevard. And then we have a location in Provo co-located with the Food and Care Coalition, and this is a location that's specifically designed to serve individuals and families experiencing homelessness. and it's the only health center of this kind in Utah County. So it really is a vital service that we provide. Just some quick background about what a community health center is. We're a partially grant-funded family practice health clinic. We are a nonprofit with 501c3 status. We provide discounts to all people who are under 200% of poverty, which in 2021 is a family of 4 earning less than $53,000 a year. Really, our mission is to reduce barriers to care. Frequently, our patients are faced to choose between buying groceries for the week or paying rent that month and receiving the necessary medical attention that they need. And our goal is really to eliminate these barriers and to help the most vulnerable in our community receive that care that they need. And what's more, all of our providers are board certified and licensed. This is just a brief snapshot of the services that we offer. As I mentioned, we offer medical, pharmacy, dental, mental health, and outreach services. So we also have certified application specialists who will help those who are uninsured apply for Medicaid and navigate the healthcare marketplace. And then our East Bay location provides healthcare for the homeless as well. A snapshot of our 2020 data, approximately 64% of our patient population earns less than 200% of poverty, over 50% are uninsured. We also see a significant number of females of childbearing age and pediatric patients. And this is just kind of an overview. This is not a comprehensive list of our services, but it is kind of a good snapshot of what we provide. You can see primary dental, primary medical care, including flu shots, immunizations, chronic care management with diabetes and hypertension, and baby deliveries. And really, Utah County residents make up a huge portion of our patients. As you can see, in 2020, we served over 16,000 Utah County residents, which is over 80% of our total patient population. You can see the breakdown there from Provo, Orem, and Utah County, excluding Lehigh. And to Utah County patients alone, based on our overall population data, we discounted approximately $29 million and provided over 38,000 patient visits. In 2020, we estimated that nearly 60% of our patients qualified as very low or extremely low income. And really, we want to help these people receive the care that they need. Last year, CDBG funding directly assisted 500 of our low and moderate income residents, low and moderate income Provo and Utah County residents to receive affordable, high quality health care. And we're making the same ask this year, requesting $50,000 to help provide medical, dental, and mental health care to the poor and indigent of Utah County. This funding will cover costs for 500 patients. And really, we appreciate the support that CDBG has been in the past, and we hope that we can continue this partnership. We can open it up for questions or any comments.
Any questions?
Can
Sorry, I was having trouble.
Todd, you're here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm driving in from Vernal. And I appreciate Amanda taking the presentation, and it looks like she did a great job. So I'm available as well to answer questions. So please ask us anything. Appreciate it.
I have maybe just a general comment because I've been involved in this for a few years. I've always appreciated Mount Land. I've always felt like you didn't ask enough, but in the past, it's usually been something very specific for like a chair or blood pressure. You know, it's been equipment. This one is more of just, it appears to be just adding to the pot so you can help more people. And I've never seen this request, and it speaks for itself. I'm not saying that it's not a very good request for what you do, but is it different, or have I missed some in the past, in the last couple of years?
That's a great question. With the combination of the different CDBG pots, we've gone to services. And in the past, when we've asked from Provo or from Orem, specifically, it's been for service types. And then from the county, we would ask for a piece of equipment. And this time, we've combined all three of those pots and just to provide services.
Okay.
Shreya, did you have a question?
Seemed like there was.
That actually answered my question. So that was what I was asking about it as well.
All right. Summer has a question in the chat. Can you speak to what kind of mental health services are offered?
We have primarily, we provide counseling services, family counseling and individual counseling, but we also offer MAT, which is medically assisted treatment for those that are experiencing substance use disorder. So those are primarily the things that we do with our behavioral health.
Thank you.
We have about 100, if I remember right, about 130 people that on our rolls that we're taking care of with SUD issues. One of the nice things as well, it's not in our presentation, but there's about 1/3 of our patients are also experiencing some sort of depression or some other behavioral health issue as well. And a lot of those are handled in the medical visit as well. But speaking specifically to our mental health services, as outlined before, but we're also taking care of people who have comorbidities of depression and diabetes and other issues as well.
All right. Any other questions? We have 3 more minutes. All right. Well, thanks, Todd and Amanda, for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Please let us know if you have any further questions. We appreciate the time. Thank you guys for your volunteering to help with this.
Have a good evening.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you guys ready for Kids on the Move? So from Kids on the Move, we have Rachel Rutherford, Morgan Talbot, Ruby Haddock, and Lorraine Clark. Can you guys hear us?
Hello, I want to welcome you on behalf of the Commission. This is Ken Ransom. I want to thank you for joining us and let you know you have 12 minutes for your presentation. So please begin when you're ready.
Excellent. Hi, Ken. Ruby Haddock with Kids on the Move. With Kids on the Move today, we have Rochelle Rutherford, our COO. We have Morgan Talbot, the Nutrition Manager of Early Head Start, Lorraine Clark as our grant writer, and then myself with the VP of Development. For those of you that do not know who Kids on the Move is, I just want to give you a quick overview, and then I'll hand the time over to Morgan to tell us about his program and the ask, basically. Kids on the Move is a nonprofit organization. We began in 1984. We provide services to over 2,800 children and families. Kids on the Move has an umbrella of independent operating programs. We have autism, respite, mental health, early intervention, early head start, and child care. Our ask is going to be for early head start, and it is going to be for the salary of Morgan Talbot and an assistant that they're looking to hire. Morgan will give us an overview of his program, exactly what each position does and the need of why we are asking this. So with that, I'll hand it over to Morgan. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you all for your time. So as the description of early Head Start services that we're providing, it is a combination of in-home visits and on-site child classes that include educational, social, medical, and nutritional development. This is an opportunity for our workers to analyze and cognitive development issues, potential issues, and be able to refer the child to the appropriate sources before any legitimate habits are made to be able to give them the best start. And this is specifically for children from 0 to 3 years old. Prenatal mothers women are included. Our final goal is to empower these families and the parents to be able to succeed after the program is done or concluded when their child is aged out. And we do this by having them take part in programs. We have policy council that takes place that they're able to decide more about what goes on in the program. and also our Health Services Advisory Committee, which is a collaboration of local community workers, health professionals, and parents to be able to identify these needs. We have legitimate need currently with the Early Head Start facility. We have 260 children that we have been able to serve over the last year, 40% specifically from Orem city limits, and with a growing wait list that is due to the enrollment and recruiting efforts of our enrollment specialists. These families are becoming more diverse with time going on, with over 6 different primary languages that are needed on our part to be able to accommodate to provide these services. What we have really noticed was with the pandemic that the safety of the children is a big concern, and parents have been very interested in what we are doing to protect them. So we've been implementing air purifying systems, regular sanitation, and even contracting a cleaning service. We've been able to keep this operation afloat and be able to serve still 10% of our program that is still electing to receive virtual visits due to concerns from the pandemic. This is a significant toll on us because of the manpower that is needed to perform these extra duties, not only for the safety of the employees and staff, but to be able to protect the children that we are currently serving. We are really trying to make sure that to keep our facilities working, because we are a main source of relief for parents, many of whom are wage working. And so time missed due to watching their children will be paychecks or opportunities missed out on for those to be able to support their family and other needs. We have proven research that has shown to have correlation with early Head Start services being beneficial to children. There's a link that could be sent if needed. But as far as our system specifically goes, in collaboration with the early intervention services with the state, we are providing the groundwork to help identify children with IFSPs, that's individualized family service plans, essentially tracking development issues with children, and be able to help provide the necessary services and goals to help them succeed when they become of age. Like I said, currently 21% of our children are receiving IFSPs and being guided on those. Our work is being continually based on that shared understanding with other sectors. We have seen an increased need for health support though from families. Like I said, many are concerned with the pandemic, and so lots of misinformation needs to be addressed with them, which is taxing on employees with what's already going on to protect the center. Additional help and collaboration is needed because 10% of our children are also suffering from disabilities. What we hope to do though with this need is to have 3 main outcomes. That is better access to age-appropriate services for children. Mainly that includes well child checks, dental services, and blood lead testing, which is something that we have been very much focusing on with head figures in that area, such as the Utah Lead Coalition. And also being able to provide affordable care. And we want to improve the health literacy skills of our families. This is working with leading figures in certain health areas like the Lead Coalition and Utah Naloxone for drug overdose. Healthier children and families is our last hopeful outcome for this program. It's shown that if a child has a healthier start to their life, that they are more likely to be healthy as adults later on. And we're really hoping that this can help us to make them less of a potential burden to society later on, or maybe liability is a better way to say that. Our measurements to weights to track this is for the first one is measuring the total number of children with coverage, insurance coverage. This is done with collaboration from Utah Community Health Connect for Medicaid and CHIP. We also track the Women and Infant Child Assistance and SNAP programs. As far as health literacy goes, we are measuring family assessments that are done upon enrollment and reviewed every 6 months with families. This is to cover health topics such as abuse, drug abuse, negligence, and overall health literacy. These are also with monthly topics that are received from local health figures who are leading in that area. And then we have health and nutrition screenings that are performed biannually to assess child health status. And then we also assess the children's scope of coverage and the child's compliance status. So compliance status meaning how up to date they are on immunizations, well child checks, and dental screenings. Most of it is just raising awareness of the need for blood lead screenings and dental screenings, as it could be a lot of trying needs with young children in the family. This is our main focus been right now, is increasing those needs. But that is the scope of my presentation. I'll leave it open for questions.
Any questions?
Four minutes.
Okay, well, thank you all.
We appreciate your time. Thank you so very much for giving us the opportunity to present.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Morgan. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm still waiting on the Boys and Girls Club to log on. So we have a few minutes.
All right, anybody have any questions they want to, any questions, any discussion?
Yeah, I actually have a question. So in years past, it's been a 5-minute presentation and then questions. So, but we're just giving them the full 12 minutes. Is that because of the Zoom situation or?
I'm not, Jessica, can you answer that?
Yeah, we usually tell them they have a 12-minute slot, and we recommend that they only do a 5-minute presentation so that they leave time for questions.
Okay. I just wanted...
If you want us to step in and cut them off earlier, we can do that at the 5-minute mark.
No, I was just curious because I feel like the presentations this year aren't the same qualities they have been in the past. This is my 4th year, and I feel like they're like rambling. I'm having a really hard time following them. And I'm like, I don't even know questions to ask because they're not making it. The first one was great. She knows her drill. But the other ones, I was like, wow, okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just, so I was like, maybe it's that they have the full amount of time and they're just going on. But I'm good. I'm enjoying it. I'm happy to be here. I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, they've had the same instructions as years past, but I wonder if Zoom does change the way people present materials.
Yeah, probably. Thank you.
Anything else? We must all be tired tonight. All right, well, we'll just sit back until Jess tells us if Jenny's in here or not, so.
So I'll bring up, we are very ahead of schedule tonight, and I think Provo had the same experience when they did their Zoom interviews last week. I do think they go faster when we're not in person. So for the schedule on the 15th, we're scheduled for a break at 6:15, and then Centro Hispano has 3 projects to present, and then that's our last one before we score and rank. Do you want to move up Centro Hispano to present before that break? Do you want an earlier break? Do you want to just plow through and get done with it with no break? Or leave the schedule as is?
I'd prefer to just leave it as is. I'm assuming there's a logic to it and we've set it up for that reason. So I would say leave it. That's just my thought.
Okay, that's no problem. We just want to make sure we don't have you antsy to get out of here.
So looking at the schedule, I am seeing several start times that are the same for 2 presentations in a row. I don't know if I have an old version or is everyone else seeing the same thing?
That's right. We do time slots with 2 applicants per time slot, just because
I'm sorry,
if an
I didn't think of it
applicant.
until now.
Oh, Dan, are you? Sorry.
Sorry, I'm mute.
Oh, okay. Just so that if one applicant is late to get on, we keep the schedule moving by having another one ready to go. That's the
Okay,
reason we
that
do
makes
two
sense.
at one time slot, but they each get that same 12 minutes regardless.
Got it. Thanks.
Sorry, I
I
unmuted
lost her.
myself to kind of answer that question and then got distracted. But Jessica hit it right on the nail.
Given that times I've done this in the past, we've gone way over time. I think I'd rather be short on time than over and over.
Sorry, just to clarify, do you mean you want to keep the schedule as is and not bump people up, or the
Yes.
opposite? Okay.
I was just expressing appreciation that we weren't going over by an hour or two, which the first couple times I was involved in CDBG things, we went very, very long.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, we will definitely try and get you out of here on time for sure.
Oh, it's fine. I was just, and it was a long, I mean, I think it was just a Provo one. It wasn't this coalition one. I just remember us debating for a very long time.
Yeah, when we finally have
Jenny
to
here
rank,
now.
it might get longer.
You guys ready for Boys and Girls Club? Yeah. Okay. So we have Jenny from the Boys and Girls Club of Utah County joining us.
I want to welcome you to our commission meeting. This is Ken Ransom, and let you know that you want to welcome you first of all, and let you know you have 12 minutes for your presentation. Please proceed when you're ready.
Great, thank you. Can you all hear me okay? So my name is Jenny Ostriff. I'm the Development Director for the Boys and Girls Club of Utah County. And before I jump into our funding request, I wanted to just give a brief intro to the club and what we do for those who aren't familiar, and then I'll talk about kind of the program, the need for the program we're running. So our mission is to inspire and enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to realize their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens and leaders. We do this through a number of programs. Our after school program is kind of our core program at the club. This last year, we provided a safe place for over 6,000 kids during after school and summer hours, both in our after school programs and in our partner programs. We also have a Net Smarts program that provides digital citizenship trainings through assembly style meetings with kids across the state. And we did 97,225 kids last year. We also run a STEM program in after school, summer, and school day programs where we do hands-on STEM sessions with low-income kids. Last year, we served about 3,600 youth, and they participated in over 24,000 hours of STEM sessions between them. And then the last big program is our child nutrition program, where we serve grab-and-go meals and snacks to kids in need. Last fiscal year, we served 132,000 meals and 119,000 snacks. And with COVID, we're on track to serve probably about 3 times that much coming up this year. So we always do, each year we do a community needs assessment, looking at what our after school program kids need and what the families are in need of. In our most recent assessment, 90% of the teachers that we surveyed reported reading support as a vital need for their students. And 96% of parents surveyed that difficulty with language arts is a specific challenge for their kids. Of the kids at the targeted schools where we run our program, 74% are not proficient in language arts. So our funding request is to continue running our guided reading program. With CDBG funds in the past, we used it to pilot this program and then to expand it into more of our programs this last year. So we were able to run it in school, in our after school programs in Provo, Orem, and down in South Utah County in Payson and Goshen areas. So the guided reading program focuses on comprehension, targeting for low income students. The majority of the kids who attend our after school programs qualify for free or reduced lunch. And many of them are struggling, and so we focus our efforts on them. The CDBG funding allows us to do kind of one-on-one support or really small groups where we normally wouldn't be able to work that closely with the kids in need. We measure success through pre and post tests, levels of comprehension, and the way they've advanced through the program. In this last school year, 87% of the participants advanced at least one grade level, and 37% have advanced 2 or more grade levels. This year, also with COVID, we're seeing an increase in just general academic support needs. Many kids are behind in school. I think it's estimated that about 50% of the kids experienced learning loss because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it especially affects the low income and minority students where they have less resources at home, less parental support, language barriers, and other kind of stability challenges. Lower income students are 55% more likely than their higher income peers to have delayed graduation because of the pandemic. So our proposal is to continue our reading program throughout our programs, and then to offer targeted academic support where it's needed, whether it's math or science or other homework help to help kids improve in school and kind of make up some of that ground they've lost. The hope is that as they do this, that through attending our after school program and participating in the reading program, that they improve academic achievement. And then students who are more proficient in high school reading have a higher probability of success in college, and college graduates are more productive, responsible members. And that's kind of our goal, is to help all of our kids become productive, responsible members of society and to contribute in meaningful ways. So that is my presentation, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Any questions? All right.
I want to know what the science experiment those kids are doing on that last slide.
It's a traveling, it's the way that the water moves, you know, from the way it travels. And so they're making rainbows that travel from cup to cup.
Well, fun. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
This is Joey Elisa. Do you have a full 100 kid participation from each of your service areas? Are you having trouble getting kids in the program because of the pandemic, or is it the opposite where there's more kids who need you because of the pandemic?
So this last year, because of the pandemic, we couldn't enroll as many kids as we hoped to. But I believe we still had probably 100 in each of the service areas. So we've seen an increased demand in the need, and we do have wait lists at a lot of our sites. We're hoping with this coming school year that we'll be back up to our full enrollment numbers. We have 3 sites in Provo, 3 sites in Orem, and then 2 in Utah County. And well, those are the elementary sites. I guess we have 1 in Utah County that's an elementary site. And then we have a couple of middle school programs where we do kind of targeted academic support.
All right. Any other questions? Well, thank you, Jenny. Have a good evening.
Thanks. You too.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Right, Jess, who do we have next?
That was the last one on my list before the break.
Okay. So we have a huge break. We have 50-minute break right now because Ability First dropped out. Their project wasn't ready. and before the Children's Justice Center. Do you guys want to do a 50-minute break, or do you want us to take like a 15-20-minute break and we can see if we can get Children's Justice Center sooner? What do you guys want to do?
I would love to go as fast as possible. I'm actually missing something else that I would love to return to if we are able to. So I'd love to do that.
Anybody else? Do you care either way?
You know, I like a break, but 50 minutes might be a little long on them.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we take a 20-minute break now? So we'll be back here at 6:05, 6:06, and we'll see if we can get the other presenters to come in a little bit earlier. Will that work?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Everyone come back at about 6:05, 6:06, 6:07.
So I'm actually going to leave the Zoom and come back. So I'll just be in the waiting room, right?
Yes, I'll let you back in.
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy your break, everyone.
Okay.
Jess, can you stop us on YouTube?
I can
Or let me
try.
reclaim host maybe. Let's see.
Nope, I'm sorry. I kicked you out again.
Okay. I don't know why I can't change that.